Betrayed by love, reborn in power, complete story. Part 1, The Shattering. The perfect morning. Elena Rivera woke up with butterflies dancing in her stomach. Today marked 5 years since she married Marcus Chen, the love of her life. At least, that's what she believed. The morning sun filtered through the silk curtains of their penthouse apartment, painting golden stripes across the white marble floors. She stretched lazily, reaching for Marcus, but his side of the bed was cold and empty. He must have left early for work, she whispered to herself, smiling. Marcus always worked so hard. As the vice president of Chen Industries, he carried enormous responsibilities. Elena admired his dedication, even when it meant lonely mornings like this. She padded barefoot to her art studio, the one room in the apartment that truly felt like hers. Canvases lined the walls, each one a piece of her soul painted in vibrant colors. Her latest work stood on the easel, a portrait she had been working on for months. It was Marcus, captured in a rare moment of genuine laughter. Elena had built a small reputation as an artist before marriage. Her gallery, Rivera Dreams, showcased emerging talents and her own work. But lately, Marcus had been suggesting she close it down. "You don't need to work anymore," he would say, kissing her forehead. "I make enough for both of us. Focus on being happy." But art made her happy. Still, she had been considering his words. Maybe he was right. Maybe it was time to focus on their future, perhaps even start a family. Today, she would surprise him. Elena had planned everything perfectly. A romantic dinner at the restaurant where he proposed, followed by a weekend getaway to their favorite coastal resort. She had even commissioned a custom watch for him, engraved with the coordinates of where they first met. The unexpected return. At noon, Elena decided to visit Marcus at his office with lunch. She prepared his favorite meal, chicken parmesan with homemade pasta, and packed it carefully in a basket. The drive to Chen Industries took 30 minutes through busy city streets. But when she arrived at the gleaming glass tower, Marcus's assistant looked uncomfortable. "Mrs. Chen," Jennifer stammered, her eyes darting away. "Mr. Chen isn't here today. He called in sick this morning." Elena's heart skipped. Sick? But he left early this morning. He didn't say anything about being ill. Jennifer's face flushed red. Perhaps I was mistaken. Maybe he stepped out for a meeting. Something felt wrong. Elena thanked Jennifer and hurried back to her car. If Marcus was sick, why hadn't he told her? Why would he leave the apartment if he wasn't feeling well? She drove home faster than she should have, her mind racing with worry. What if something had happened to him? What if he had collapsed somewhere? The penthouse was quiet when she entered. Too quiet. "Marcus," she called out, setting down the lunch basket. "Are you home?" A sound from upstairs. A laugh. A woman's laugh. Elena's blood ran cold. She recognized that laugh. It belonged to Sofia Martinez, her best friend since college. But what was Sofia doing here in the middle of the day? Her feet moved on their own, carrying her up the spiral staircase toward their bedroom. Each step felt like walking through deep water. Her heart pounded so loud she could hear it in her ears. The bedroom door stood slightly ajar. The moment everything shattered. Elena pushed the door open. The scene before her seemed to happen in slow motion. Marcus and Sofia were in bed together, tangled in sheets that Elena had chosen herself. They didn't notice her at first, too wrapped up in each other. Then Sofia's eyes met hers. Instead of shock or shame, Elena saw something far worse, satisfaction. "Oh," Sofia said, making no effort to cover herself. "You're home early." Marcus turned, and the expression on his face confirmed Elena's worst nightmare. There was no guilt there, no remorse. Just cold calculation. "Elena," he said calmly, as if this were a normal Tuesday afternoon. "We need to talk." "We need to talk?" Elena's voice came out as a whisper. "That's what you have to say?" She wanted to scream, to cry, to throw something. But her body had frozen. This couldn't be real. This had to be a nightmare. How long, she managed to ask. Sophia laughed again, that cruel, satisfied sound. 3 years, darling. Since before your wedding, actually. The words hit Elena like physical blows. 3 years. Before their wedding. Every anniversary, every I love you, every promise had been a lie. Why? Elena looked at Marcus, the man she had trusted with her entire heart. Why marry me if you wanted her? Marcus finally got out of bed, pulling on his robe with casual indifference. Honestly? Your father's connections. Rivera Construction has contracts with every major developer in the city. Marrying you opened doors that would have taken me decades to access otherwise. You used me. It wasn't a question. I used you, Marcus confirmed, his voice matter of fact. And it worked beautifully. I'm about to be named CEO of Chin Industries, thanks largely to the deals I secured through your family connections. Sophia stretched lazily on the bed. And let's be honest, Elena. You were always too naive, too trusting. You made it so easy. The calculated destruction. Elena stumbled backward, her legs finally giving out. She sank to the floor, her mind refusing to process what was happening. I want a divorce, Marcus said, as if discussing a business transaction. My lawyers will contact you tomorrow. I suggest you cooperate. It will be easier that way. Easier? Elena looked up at him. You destroy my life and expect me to make it easier? If you fight me, Marcus said, his voice turning cold, I will destroy more than your life. I'll destroy your reputation, your father's business, everything you care about. I have evidence prepared, photographs and documents that will make you look like the cheating, unstable wife. Society loves to blame the woman. You wouldn't. Try me. Sophia sat up, wrapping the sheet around herself. Face it, Elena. You lost. Marcus and I are meant to be together. You were just a stepping stone. Elena's shock began to transform into something else. Anger, hot and fierce, started burning through the numbness. Get out of my house, she said quietly. Actually, Marcus smiled, this is my house. The deed is in my name. You'll be the one leaving. My father helped buy this. And I have paperwork showing it was a loan I repaid in full. My lawyers are very thorough. Marcus walked to the bedroom door. Pack your things. You have until tomorrow morning. The public humiliation. Elena refused to believe it could get worse. She was wrong. 2 days later, still reeling from the discovery and hastily moved into a small hotel room, she received a call from her father. Elena, Roberto Rivera's voice was cold. We need to talk. Come to my office immediately. When she arrived, her father sat behind his massive desk, his face hard as stone. Spread before him were photographs. Elena recognized herself in them, but the man beside her wasn't Marcus. What are these? She asked. You tell me. Her father's disappointment cut deeper than any knife. Marcus came to me yesterday. He showed me evidence of your affair. Multiple affairs, apparently. That's not me. I mean, that is me, but these are photoshopped. Dad, you have to believe me. Marcus also showed me bank statements. Money missing from our joint accounts. He says you've been stealing to fund a gambling addiction. What? No. Dad, none of this is true. Marcus is lying. But she could see it in her father's eyes. He believed Marcus. The son-in-law who had been so respectful, so helpful with business over the years. Why would Marcus lie? I'm very disappointed in you, Roberto said. Until you get help and make this right, I think it's best we don't speak. Elena tried to explain, tried to tell him the truth, but her father wouldn't listen. Marcus had poisoned that well too thoroughly. The gallery of shame. The final blow came at the annual charity gala, an event Elena had helped organize for 3 years. The entire city's elite would be there. Elena almost didn't attend, but something stubborn inside her refused to hide. She wore a simple black dress and held her head high as she entered the ballroom. Immediately, she felt the stares, heard the whispers. The fake photographs had already spread through society. Then she saw them. Marcus and Sophia, dressed like royalty, standing at the center of attention. Sophia wore a diamond ring that sparkled under the chandeliers. "Everyone," Marcus called out, his voice carrying across the room. "I have an announcement." The crowd fell silent. Elena felt eyes turning toward her. "As you all know, my marriage to Elena Rivera has ended due to her indiscretions." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. But from darkness comes light. "I'm pleased to announce my engagement to Sofia Martinez." Applause erupted. Elena stood frozen as people congratulated the happy couple, as if she didn't exist, as if her pain meant nothing. Sophia caught her eye across the room and smiled. A cruel, victorious smile. Elena ran. She pushed through the crowd, tears finally breaking free, and fled into the night. Behind her, she heard laughter. The mysterious stranger. Elena found herself on a bench in the park across from the hotel, sobbing uncontrollably. She had lost everything. Her marriage, her best friend, her father's trust, her reputation, even her art gallery had closed when Marcus pulled his financial backing. Tears won't fix anything. Elena looked up, startled. A man stood before her, tall and imposing in an expensive charcoal suit. His dark hair was touched with silver at the temples, and his gray eyes held a sharp intelligence that seemed to see right through her. "Excuse me," she managed. "I said tears won't fix anything." He sat down beside her, uninvited but somehow not unwelcome. "But revenge might." "Who are you?" "Adrian Blackwell." He handed her a business card. "I witnessed your humiliation tonight. I also know it was undeserved." "How could you possibly know that?" "Because I make it my business to know things. Marcus Chen is a talented liar, but I've been watching him for some time. He's corrupt, ruthless, and far more dangerous than you realize." Elena stared at the card. Adrian Blackwell. She recognized the name. He owned Blackwell Enterprises, a massive conglomerate that made Chen Industries look like a small shop. "Why do you care about Marcus?" "Let's just say he wronged someone I cared about. I've been waiting for the right moment to destroy him." Adrian turned those gray eyes on her. "And you, Elena Rivera, could be the key to his downfall." "I have nothing. No money, no reputation, no power. You have something far more valuable. You have motivation." Adrian stood, offering his hand. "Come work for me. Let me teach you how this world really works. And when you're ready, we'll make Marcus Chen regret the day he ever heard your name." Elena looked at his extended hand. Every logical part of her screamed this was crazy. She didn't know this man. This could be another trap. But what did she have to lose? She took his hand. "Good," Adrian smiled. "Your revenge begins tomorrow. But tonight, you rest. Tomorrow, you start becoming someone Marcus Chen should fear." As Elena stood, she felt something shift inside her. The broken, naive girl was dying. Someone new was being born. Someone Marcus would learn to fear. Part 2, The Transformation. The education begins. Elena woke in an unfamiliar bedroom, sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. For a moment, panic seized her before she remembered Adrian Blackwell's penthouse. After their conversation in the park, he had insisted she stay in one of his guest suites rather than return to that depressing hotel. The bedroom alone was larger than her entire hotel room, decorated in calming shades of cream and silver. On the nightstand, she found a note in sharp, elegant handwriting: "Meet me in the study at 9 a.m. Your new life begins today. AB." She checked her phone. 8:15 a.m. 45 minutes to shower, dress, and find the study in what appeared to be a massive apartment. A knock at the door startled her. "Miss Rivera?" A woman's kind voice called through. "I'm Claire, Mr. Blackwell's housekeeper. I prepared breakfast and laid out some clothes for you. May I come in?" The clothes were perfect, professional slacks and a silk blouse that fit like they were made for her. Elena wondered how Adrian had known her size, then decided that a man who seemed to know everything probably found that information easy to obtain. The study was breathtaking. Books lined every wall from floor to ceiling, and the scent of leather and old paper filled the air. Adrian sat behind a massive oak desk, typing rapidly on a laptop. He looked up when she entered. "Punctual. Good." He gestured to the chair across from him. "Sit. We have much to discuss." Elena sat, her heart racing. "Mr. Blackwell." "Adrian. If we're going to work together, formality is unnecessary." "Adrian," she corrected herself. "I need to understand what you want from me. Why are you really helping me?" He leaned back, studying her with those penetrating gray eyes. "Fair question. The truth? Marcus Chen's family destroyed mine 15 years ago. His uncle, James Chen, was my father's business partner. James embezzled millions, framed my father for the crime, and left him to take the fall. My father died in prison, my mother from grief a year later. I was 22, suddenly alone, and fighting to clear the family name." "I'm sorry," Elena whispered. "Don't be sorry. Be angry. Use it." Adrian's voice hardened. "It took me 13 years to build my empire, to position myself to take down the Chen family. But Marcus is careful, paranoid. He's insulated himself well. Then I watched him destroy you at that gala, and I realized something." "What?" "You're the perfect weapon. You know him intimately. You've been inside his world. And he'll underestimate you, which is his greatest mistake." Adrian pulled out a folder, sliding it across the desk. "This is your new identity. Study it." Elena opened the folder. Inside was a passport, driver's license, and various documents. All bore her photo, but a different name, Elena Volkov. Volkov? Russian. Mysterious. It will intrigue the business world and make Marcus think twice before dismissing you. Adrian stood, moving to the window. "For the next 6 months, you'll study business, finance, negotiation, and psychology. I'll teach you everything I know. You'll become someone new, someone powerful. And then? Then we'll reintroduce you to society as a wealthy foreign investor. And we'll systematically dismantle everything Marcus has built. Becoming Elena Volkov." The transformation was grueling. Elena woke at 5 every morning for physical training with Adrian's personal trainer. "A strong body creates a strong mind," Adrian insisted. After breakfast, they studied. Adrian taught her to read financial statements, understand market trends, and identify corporate weaknesses. He showed her how the wealthy really operated, the unspoken rules and subtle power plays that happened in every boardroom. "Business is theater," Adrian explained one afternoon as they reviewed a hostile takeover strategy. "Everyone is playing a role. The secret is knowing which role to play and when." In the evenings, they practiced negotiation. Adrian would create scenarios, playing the part of difficult clients or hostile competitors. He was merciless, attacking every weakness, exploiting every hesitation. Again, he would say when she faltered, "Marcus won't show mercy. Neither can you." The hardest lessons were psychological. Adrian taught her to mask emotions, to lie convincingly, to use people's assumptions against them. "You were too honest before," he told her. "Too trusting. Those are luxuries you can no longer afford." But there were gentler moments too. Late nights when they would talk about their pasts, their losses, their scars. Adrian opened up about the years after his father's death, the poverty and desperation, the slow climb back to power. Revenge kept me alive, he admitted one night over wine. But it also isolated me. I have wealth, power, respect. But no real connections. Everyone wants something from me. What about friends? He smiled sadly. I forgot how to have friends. I only know how to have allies or enemies. Elena found herself drawn to him, to the intelligence and intensity that radiated from him. But she also saw the loneliness he tried to hide, the walls he had built around his heart. The hidden attraction. 4 months into her training, something shifted between them. They were practicing a negotiation scenario, sitting across from each other at the study desk. Elena was playing a corporate executive trying to justify a bad quarterly report. Adrian played the hostile board member demanding answers. Your excuses are pathetic, Adrian said in character, leaning forward. Give me one good reason not to vote you out. Elena held his gaze, channeling every lesson he had taught her. Because you need me. I'm the only one who knows where the bodies are buried, and if you remove me, I'll make sure those secrets become public. Adrian broke character, a genuine smile crossing his face. Perfect. You didn't flinch, didn't apologize, just went straight for the threat. That's exactly right. Their eyes met, and suddenly the air between them felt charged with electricity. Elena's breath caught. Adrian's smile faded, replaced by something more intense. Elena, he said softly, using her real name for the first time in weeks. Yes? He stood abruptly, breaking the moment. That's enough for today. You've earned a rest. But Elena noticed how his hands clenched into fists, how he wouldn't look at her as she left the study. She wasn't the only one feeling this pull. Over the following weeks, the tension grew. Accidental touches lingered too long. Conversations became more personal. Elena caught Adrian watching her with an expression she couldn't quite read. One night, she found him on the penthouse balcony, staring at the city lights below. Can't sleep? She asked. He turned, and in the moonlight, he looked younger, more vulnerable. I've been thinking about what happens after. After we destroy Marcus. What do you mean? This partnership of ours. It has an expiration date. Once Marcus is finished, you'll want your life back. Your real life. Elena moved closer. What if I don't want my old life back? What if I like who I'm becoming? You don't know what you're saying. This world, my world, it changes people. It makes them hard, cynical. You still have kindness in you, Elena. Don't lose that for revenge. Isn't that hypocritical? You've been training me for months to be exactly what you are. Which is why I know what it costs. Adrian's voice was barely a whisper. I don't want you to end up like me. Powerful but empty. Before she could respond, his phone buzzed. Adrian checked it, and his expression changed. Marcus is hosting a business summit next month. All the major investors will be there. He looked at her with new intensity. Are you ready for this? Elena thought about everything she had learned, everything she had become. The naive girl who had trusted blindly was gone. In her place stood someone smarter, stronger, more dangerous. I'm ready, she said. Adrian nodded. Then it's time to introduce Elena Volkov to the world. And to Marcus Chen. The strategic return. The business summit was held at the Grand Continental Hotel, the same venue where Marcus and Sophia had announced their engagement. Elena appreciated the poetry of returning there. She arrived in a stunning crimson dress that had cost more than her old car, her hair styled in an elegant updo that showcased the diamond earrings Adrian had insisted she wear. You're a wealthy investor now, he had said. Look the part. As she entered the ballroom, heads turned. Men and women alike studied her with curiosity and interest. Who was this mysterious beauty? Adrian appeared at her side, offering his arm. Ready? Ready. They moved through the crowd like sharks, Adrian introducing her to key players. Elena played her role perfectly, speaking with a slight accent, dropping references to fictional European investments, laughing at the right moments. Then she saw him. Marcus stood across the room, Sophia at his side. He was holding court with a group of investors, his confident smile on full display. He hadn't noticed her yet. "Remember the plan," Adrian murmured. "Let him come to you." They positioned themselves near the bar. Elena made sure to laugh loudly at something Adrian said, her joy genuine despite the act. She was having fun watching Marcus slowly become aware of her presence. It took 15 minutes. Marcus glanced over, did a double take, and stared. Elena pretended not to notice, turning to speak with a real estate mogul Adrian had introduced her to. "Miss Volkov," the mogul was saying, "your portfolio sounds impressive. Have you considered investments in this city?" "Actually, I have my eye on several properties," Elena replied. "There's a particular development project that interests me greatly." "Which one?" "The Riverside project. I understand someone named Marcus Chen is bidding on it." The mogul's eyes lit up. "Ah yes. That's a competitive bid. Chen Industries really needs that project. Rumor has it they've overextended themselves and need the capital injection." "How fascinating," Elena smiled. "Perhaps I should make a competing bid." Within minutes, word spread through the summit. A mysterious Russian investor was interested in the Riverside project, the same project Marcus had been courting for months. Elena watched as people whispered, as eyes turned toward her, as Marcus's confident expression began to crack. Finally, he approached. "Miss Volkov, I presume?" Marcus extended his hand, his smile forced. "Marcus Chen. I understand you're interested in the Riverside project." Elena let him wait a beat before taking his hand. "Mr. Chen. Yes, I've been studying the opportunity. It seems quite lucrative." Up close, she could see he didn't recognize her. Why would he? This confident, powerful woman bore no resemblance to the broken girl he had destroyed 6 months ago. "The thing is," Marcus said, his tone condescending, "that project is rather complex. It requires someone with deep experience in local development. Perhaps I could interest you in a different investment?" "Are you suggesting I'm not capable of handling complexity?" Elena's voice turned cold. "Not at all," Marcus backpedaled. "I'm simply saying that as someone new to the area. I have Mr. Blackwell as my advisor." Elena gestured to Adrian. "I trust his judgment completely." Marcus's face went pale at Adrian's name. Everyone knew Blackwell Enterprises was a giant in the industry. "Of course," Marcus said stiffly. "May the best bid win." As he walked away, Elena saw Sophia studying her with narrowed eyes. Something in Sophia's expression suggested she sensed something familiar but couldn't quite place it. "First blood," Adrian murmured approvingly. "Nicely done. The first victory." 3 weeks later, Elena sat in a conference room with the Riverside project developers. Her team had prepared an impeccable proposal, backed by Blackwell Enterprises resources but presented under her Volkov identity. Marcus's face when she walked into that meeting was worth every hour of training, every painful lesson, every moment of doubt. "Miss Volkov," he stammered. "I didn't realize you'd be presenting in person." "I like to personally oversee important investments," she replied coolly. Her presentation was flawless. She demonstrated deep knowledge of the market, proposed innovative solutions to the project's challenges, and offered terms the developers couldn't refuse. When the developers announced she had won the bid, Marcus's expression turned murderous. "Congratulations," he said through clenched teeth. "Though I have to wonder how a newcomer managed to put together such a comprehensive proposal so quickly." "Perhaps you underestimated me," Elena replied, allowing herself a small smile. "People do that sometimes. It's usually their biggest mistake." She watched as understanding flickered across his face. Did he recognize something in her eyes? In her voice? No. He was too arrogant to imagine his pathetic ex-wife could become this. As Elena left the building, Adrian called her. I heard. Congratulations on your first victory. It felt good, she admitted. Really good. This is just the beginning, Adrian said. But Elena, we need to be careful. Marcus will start investigating you now. We can't let him discover the truth until we're ready. I understand. There's something else. Adrian paused. I know this started as a business arrangement, but I need you to know, what I feel for you, it's become more complicated. Elena's heart raced. Adrian. Don't say anything yet. Just think about it. When this is over, when Marcus is destroyed, I want you to have choices. Real choices. Including the choice to walk away from me if that's what you need. The line went dead before she could respond. Elena stood on the sidewalk, the late afternoon sun warm on her face. 6 months ago, she had lost everything. Now she was winning, transforming, becoming someone powerful. But she was also falling for a man who had built walls around his heart, a man who was teaching her to be just as guarded. Could she have both revenge and love? Or would one destroy the other? She didn't know. But she was determined to find out. Part 3, The Reckoning, 2,000 words. The investigation. Marcus Chen sat in his office, staring at the file his private investigator had compiled on Elena Volkov. Something about that woman bothered him, an itch at the back of his mind he couldn't scratch. This doesn't make sense, he muttered to his assistant. She appeared out of nowhere 6 months ago. Before that, nothing. No digital footprint, no business history, nothing. Maybe she's just private, his assistant suggested. Nobody is this private. And her connection to Adrian Blackwell. Marcus slammed the file shut. I need to know who she really is. Meanwhile, Elena was executing phase 2 of their plan. Using her new connections and Blackwell resources, she had begun quietly buying shares in Chen Industries suppliers and partners. Nothing dramatic enough to raise immediate alarms, but enough to give her influence. You're setting up a web, Adrian observed as they reviewed her acquisitions. When you pull the strings, everything Marcus has built will collapse. Is that admiration I hear in your voice? Elena teased. Adrian smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. I'm proud of you. And concerned. About what? About this. He gestured between them. About what we've become. You're not the woman I met in that park anymore. Isn't that what you wanted? I wanted you to be strong, not cold. Adrian moved closer. Elena, I've watched you change. You're brilliant, powerful, exactly what we needed. But sometimes I see you look at Marcus with such hatred, and I worry about what happens when revenge is complete. What's left when the anger is gone? Elena turned away, unable to meet his eyes. The truth was, she'd been wondering the same thing. The rage that had fueled her transformation was still there, but now it was joined by something else. Fear. Fear that she had become exactly what she hated. Fear that the old Elena was truly dead. Fear that when this was over, she wouldn't know who she was anymore. I need to finish this, she said quietly. I need to see Marcus pay for what he did. And then? Then we'll see who I am on the other side. The trap springs. The annual Chen Industries shareholders meeting was approaching. Marcus had been planning to announce a major expansion, a move that would cement his position as CEO and bring massive profits. What he didn't know was that Elena now controlled enough proxy votes to cause serious problems. The day before the meeting, Sophia showed up at Elena's luxury apartment uninvited. We need to talk, Sophia said when Elena opened the door. Do we? I know who you are. Elena's blood ran cold, but she kept her expression neutral. Excuse me? Sophia pushed past her into the apartment. I've been watching you, Elena Volkov. Or should I say, Elena Rivera? Did you really think I wouldn't recognize you? So much for the element of surprise. How long have you known? Elena asked, dropping the accent.